Okay, everyone, I wanted to give you some instructions on some of the upcoming assignments that we have. Module 2 is the developmental checklist that is due on February 14th along with your activity plan 1. For your developmental checklist, make sure that you're using the first column and you are using the codes M for mastered, E for emerging, or N for not seen. Not seen does not mean that they're not able to do it. It just means that you haven't had the opportunity to be able to observe that yet. The emerging means they're doing it about 50 to 75% of the time, but not consistently 100% of the time. And mastered, of course, would be it's something that they're consistently doing it and they're doing it well. Give objective examples of what you are seeing. Don't just say they know some colors. Tell me exactly what colors they know. They were able to stack some blocks. Tell me they were able to stack 2 blocks or 3 blocks. Give me specific details on those as well. For your activity plan, make sure that you get that approved from your teachers at lab prior to submitting it to Blackboard for me to do the final grading on. They're merely approving the idea to make sure that it's something that would be appropriate for your focus child. An activity that you should plan for them would be something that you have not seen or something that is emerging to kind of help increase that skill for those kiddos. The most important part on those are your objectives. Make sure they're specific and measurable. An example would be the child will be able to stack 3 blocks 2 out of 3 times. Or the child will point to the pictures in the book 50% of the time. And be specific about what pictures that you are going to ask them to point to in the books. The materials that you're going to use, be specific. Ask to see if you can use materials that are in the classroom. It cannot be something that is currently out in the classroom. It needs to be something that's new. And that's to your benefit because it will be new and it will be more intriguing to those kiddos. For your open-ended questions or comments, obviously infants cannot talk to us to respond to your questions. There's some great articles posted on Blackboard about talking about what children are doing, encouraging that language. If you're talking about, oh, I see that you're looking at the picture, you're working really hard, you're trying, you're almost there, oh, you're using the red crayon. Those types of things would be some ways to extend that learning. Some open-ended questions would be, oh, tell me what it feels like. Does it feel silky? Does it feel bumpy? Does it feel smooth? To kind of help give them some of that language. For Module 3, you are working on your first handout, Ways to Establish Positive Relationships with Infants and Toddlers. For your curriculum resource file, make sure that you are including young infants, mobile infants, and toddlers with that. 3 activities for each age group. So 3 activities for young infants, 3 activities for mobile infants, and 3 activities for toddlers. You're going to give me some ideas of some things that caregivers can do while they're interacting and they're working with the children in their care. Make sure the handout is colorful. You're including graphics. Make sure it's not too wordy. Parents aren't going to read something that has a lot of words and information on it. Make sure that you've proofread it, and most importantly, make sure you are not borrowing and using a friend that has had this class from a previous, from their curriculum resource files. When you submit it, it automatically goes to Safe Assign, which is like a Turnitin type thing that checks for plagiarism. A word of caution, if you use the terms caregiver establishing relationships with infants and toddlers, that's probably going to be flagged. I am not going to count you against that. When you're grading, I'm looking to see, is it word for word? Make sure that it's not word for word. Make sure you're citing your resources and make sure that you do not use somebody else's handout. If you use their handout and it is greater than 20% match and it's more than those common terms, you will receive a failing grade and there could be potential for other academic integrity sanctions taken against you, and I really don't want to do that. So make sure that these are handouts that you have created on your own. You're not borrowing somebody else's. You could get in trouble, they could get in trouble, and you don't want that to happen. It could ultimately mean that you fail the class, and you don't want to do that either. Okay, email me if you have any questions. Start on Module 3. I I hope to be popping into some labs. I know I won't be able to get to every single lab time, but I hope to kind of pop in and see how things are going. I hope your semester's going great so far. Again, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.